Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun one today. As you can see, we have, well, how many we count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think, maybe 8 F35s that are gonna be escorting us in a C17. It's gonna be dope. Escape woke to the stream as well. Good to see you, man. I did not get a haircut. No, this is the same cut. I'm in the same cut, bro. If you guys would like to see where we are at Kilo Delta Sierra. Is that where we at? I just forgot. I always forget. We go to so many places that I get lost in translation. Yo, Kilo Delta Mike Alpha Davis Mountain Air Force Base, aka it's also a graveyard. If you look off in the distance here, you'll see that there are thousands of retired military and a few civil, I think it's mostly military aircraft. F16s out there. We got some C17 pieces. Pretty much any aircraft you can think of in the military is here. And yeah, so basically today's scenario is we have picked up some old aviation parts from the graveyard that are, you know, parts that are still usable. All these planes are not completely you know, useless. That's what the reason why they're here is because they got retired. They still have a few parts left that may be good. It's a lot cheaper to use an old part than to go and make a brand new part. So we're picking up some old parts here, and we're gonna fly them about 300 miles over to Nelis Air Force Base in the C17 Globemaster. And we have a very special guest today, and it is, make sure I get their name right, the 75th Fighter Wing Grim Reapers. If you are interested in getting a part of a milsim community, of a fighter wing community, of a group of guys and girls who love military aircraft and flying together, doing real world operations around the world of Microsoft Flight Sim, you need to check out the 75th Fighter Wing Grim Reapers. So that's who you see here in the F35. This is the next level. So they're gonna escort us, which is pretty cool. I'm super honored to have these guys join us today in the stream. I wish I was able to allow each and every one of them to jump on the mic and shout out, but we can't do that today. But I want to say thank you because I know they can hear me. We are gonna have a representative from their team that's gonna be talking with us today in the stream and answering any questions you guys may have. A lot of them are actually on Xbox as well. So if you are an Xbox user, and I know there's a ton of you out there, don't be worried. Like these guys, a lot of them are based on Xbox, and some I'm sure are also on the PC. And again, we'll get some of those questions answered later. We are in the C17 Globemaster. This is a freeware mod on flightsim.to. So if you want to check it out, it's free. It's not new. It's been around for a while. It has animated doors and cargo bay, and you can simulate doing paratrooper drops and whatever it is your imagination can think of, you can do it. It's not a study level aircraft. I'm not going to claim that in any way, but it is going to hopefully get us to where we want to go today. All right. So before we start, let me just go ahead and knock this out really quickly. Flight Control Replay V5 is coming out tomorrow, I believe. Yes, some of you guys are already familiar. I've been using Flight Control Replay for my landing replays for a long time, and he is about to release version 5, and we'll talk more about that throughout the stream. I will just really quickly show you what it looks like. He completely redesigned the UI, which was actually a personal request of mine. I thought the old UI looked horrible. It looked super out of date. So this is the new UI for Flight Control Replay. This is only for PC, sadly. It is available on the Sim Market, and it is actually not a free update. I'm sad to say it. I know some people are gonna get upset about that. It's not a free update, but if you do own the old version, you will get a good discount on the new one. But a lot of new features. Again, it has a record button, a new UI. You can actually make it bigger, smaller. You can also, one of my favorite features is actually called Plane Ghost. Now check this out. I'm gonna click on it. Okay, it didn't work too well because there's already one here. But basically, it'll add another model of your aircraft, and you can kind of simulate flying in the formation. So if you don't have any friends who play Microsoft Flight Sim, but you want to get some dope formation shots, you can actually click on this button and it'll duplicate your plane. And this plane is actually affected by the wind. It matches kind of your bank angle and pitch and things like that, but not perfectly. There's slight differences there. And so it kind of looks like a whole nother person is there. Because our plane is so big, it's kind of hard to see. You can also customize it by going into the options and go to ghost plane. You can set where it's going to show up, like to your right, to your left, behind you, altitude offset, how far away it is from you. A lot of cool features. Again, I'm not going to go into that completely. We'll do a whole separate video about it, but I want to give you guys a quick sneak peek. So we will be using this today in different parts of our flight. But yes, flight control replay V5 coming out tomorrow. So thank you to the flight control replay people for allowing me to get an early look at it. But yo, let's get to the fun stuff. Let's bring on our friend here just for me. Let me unmute him to the stream, and I'm gonna be honest, not disrespectful, but honest. I don't remember his name. So introduce yourself, my friend. Are you there?
I am. So I'm Bloodshot. I'm the operations officer for the 75th Fighter Wing, and I'm here to represent them today and answer any questions you might have about how we conduct our business and how people can join and what they can expect when they get here and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can just tell by his voice that, like, they're legit. Like, he sound like he be commanded and stuff. So, all right, let's get to the flight. We have a lot to talk about. I have a lot of questions about your fighter wing, your milsim operations, things like that. Let me get the plane's already on, so I kind of cheated and skipped that part. But I do have a flight plan in. I'm gonna show you people just a quick look at opening and closing the cargo bay, which I think is the coolest feature of this plane. I don't even care that it's not like super realistic. I just like that the doors open. So over here on the right side, here in the center pedestal, there is 3 buttons. There is the open, airdrop, and close button, and then there's also a door ramp, troop doors left and right. So we'll do the troop doors left and right first. Let me get a good view of it. So those are the doors on the left and right side of the wing, on the side of the fuselage. So if I click on that button, or both of them, hit that and hit that, you'll see that they start animating close. And it's a very nice animation. And yo, let's wait till you see the gear go up. It's legit. All right, and now that we have all the cargo and personnel on board, we'll also close the main door. This button? No, it's this button. And there it is. Very, very nice and smooth animations. Very sweet. Yeah, this is actually my first time flying the plane, and I'm just impressed. It's not new, like I said, but it's impressive how well these freeware projects really just kind of, they really put a lot of effort into this stuff. They could easily have charged us money for a C-17 with no cockpit. I'm just saying. Anyways, shots fired. Okay, cool. So, what's the weather? What runway are we using? I see C35 taxiing that way. We'll follow him. We'll go that way. This is the flight deck of the C-17. Lots of things in here. There's a 4-engine throttle. Squadron release our brake. There it is. Brakes release. We'll set our flaps for takeoff. I assume it's just 1 notch or 2. I don't know. That's good enough for me. And we'll see if track IR is working. Track IR is working. Our joystick is working. Yeah, the C-17 does fly with a joystick, unlike most aircraft of its, that look like this. Most military, I think, aircraft have some type of joystick, which is pretty cool. It also does have a working HUD. So if I hit brightness here, I think, and let me see, did I turn it on? Maybe not. Maybe because I'm trying to show it, it's not working.
That's normally what happens.
Yeah, that's normally what happens. When you want to show something off, it doesn't work. So anyways, I know it works because I've tried it and it worked earlier. But it does have a working... Oh wait, it's coming up. I think it took a while to... There it is. It took a while to activate. Yeah, there it is. Here it comes. What's up, Reese Cups? Welcome to the stream. Emily, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You guys doing great. All right, we're clear on the right. Clear on the left. You can see one of the F35 has already moved up ahead of us. There we go. Now, there's nothing really special about the sounds, so we're not going to focus on that today. What up, Josh? Says that I'm in his favorite military aircraft. Didn't know that, man. It's a great plane, for sure. It's really, when you see these in person, you really have an appreciation for just the size of it. One thing I didn't know until a recent air show was the capabilities of the short takeoff and landing that it has on multiple types of surfaces. So, I mean, on runways, on dirt, grass. You have 35 flying overhead. I think it's a 35. Yep, 35 flying overhead. And I actually got to see a demonstration right in front of me at the air show. I was at the Houston Air Show last year. Houston Air Show actually just happened this past weekend. Sadly, I did not make it out. I really wasn't that inspired. I feel bad for saying this, but I really wasn't that inspired about going to the Houston Air Show this year. After going to Oshkosh earlier this year, you know, going to like the world's greatest air show, and then you go to your home local air show, and you're like, this is seen that, been there, done that. You know what I mean? So it was, yeah, I was like, I don't know. But I did get to see I did get to see the C17 last time I went, and I was like amazed by how fast it could land, how fast it can get up in the air, and the maneuverability in the air as well. Are our lights on? Yep, all of our lights are on. So we're gonna shoot for, I don't know, let's try 30,000 feet in this baby. Our flight's about an hour 20, going up to Nelis. If I didn't mention it before, if you're just joining in the stream, we are in the C17 Globemaster freeware mod for Microsoft Flight Sim, PC only, but we also are joined by the 75th Fighter Wing Grim Reapers, who are gonna be escorting us down to Nelis Air Force Base. Now I think this is our turn. Yeah, it is. So, how does this work? Just real quickly for people who are watching, whenever you guys are escorting someone, what's kind of your procedure?
Well, kind of the procedure is we try to mimic it off of what the Air Force actually does, or the military in general, where you would have normally 2 scout aircraft would take off first. They would be the ones that would clear the airspace, and then you would have your other aircraft would be on each wing, depending on how many they are. It could be 2 on each side or 4 on each side, depending on how big the escort is, and then you have someone bringing up the rear. The sensors and the radars are so powerful in some of these new aircraft that that's really not necessary, but that's kind of like how they do it anyways. But truth be told, you could be all in a circle, and if any enemy aircraft shows up, they're going to pick them up. But just to follow procedures, we just kind of do what they've always done, and that's how they do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I am holding short runway 33 here in Tucson, Arizona. I'm going to set my altitude here on the autopilot. I don't have a lot of faith in this autopilot, but we're going to see. Worst case scenario, I had to fly by hand or just put it on altitude hold and heading mode. I know that those work. I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, it's kind of be, for me, flying is going to be pretty loose as far as me being picky on how the aircraft handles, but I don't expect much from this freeware C17. We'll set our speed 250 on the climb out. And we're making a left turn when we leave from A33. So if we can set the heading here, that'd be great. Okay, there we go.
I have to admit, it's pretty impressive for freeware. You would think you would have to pay for this.
A lot of people would charge money for this level of detail, for sure. There's probably planes in the marketplace right now that are about this detail or even less. I mean, there's not any, like, most of these buttons in here are not clickable, but I mean, that's not a big deal. I mean, as long as you're not trying to be super realistic, you're okay. I mean, we'll see today how the autopilot does its thing, and if it follows it. I basically just created a flight plan in the world map.
Right.
I wasn't able to find a way to create a custom flight plan inside of here. So I just made a world map and went that way. Trying to get my heading to rotate all the way over there, just in case we need it. My mouse gets a little sticky, like 'cause I use an Xbox controller and also a mouse, and sometimes they get confused with who's in control.
Right.
All right, that's good enough. All right, is the squad ready? Do I take off
Oh,
first?
they're definitely ready. I'm sure they've seen you come to a stop and just stand by. He's ready to take off, guys. So if you want to go ahead and get the 2 scout aircraft up in the air, then he'll take off behind you.
Yes, luck for sport. I have definitely had an itch lately for military flight lately. That is true. This is our third, I think it's our third stream in a row of military inspiration. We did the F-22 flight last week. We actually attempted to do a DCS World stream, found out I had some issues with my performance on DCS, so we ended up going to Plan B and hopping in, I think, the F35 and F18 on Microsoft Flight Sim. It was a lot of fun though. Did some like dogfight practice over in the Nelis training area north of Nelis Air Force Base, and we did it on VATSIM. That was really fun too.
Okay. Yeah, it's always good to have a plan B, man. Things tend to kind of go awry, like when you're trying to show somebody something, and all of a sudden, what worked before magically doesn't work now. So
yeah. Flipper Cow, a firm. It is Kilo Delta Mike Alpha. So I just want to warn you and your crew that there might be some random fighter jets that show up. So they don't mean any harm if they do.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the viewers probably understand that. They see who's taking off with you. What tends to happen is we'll be out and about, and we'll be on a training mission or an actual mission, and then we'll get some stragglers. But that's a good recruiting opportunity. Or we just don't have time for that. They just kind of realize that, hey, these guys are doing something, and we're not involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, we're not that type of group. We do like for people to kind of hang around, but you really need to join the group if you want to get the meat and potatoes of what we do.
Yeah, for sure. I think we had something similar happen to us. What was it last week? We were flying the 22, I believe, and somebody saw us on VATSIM flying around and decided to just hop in and join us and intercepted us, and then ended up bringing them on the VATSIM comms and. It's definitely a good recruiting opportunity. I did want to say, while we're talking about that, how can people, if they're already, like, they haven't even seen anything yet, if they're already interested in getting a part of your fighter wing, how can they, like, do that?
Well, the first thing they need to do is join that Discord link. I'm sure you're going to put it in your description.
Yeah, I'm going to drop it in the chat right now, actually. So if you guys are looking to join their Discord, I'm dropping it in our chat right now. For those who want, go ahead and continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and but a lot because we are the type of group that we are. We're very, very hands-on with our pilots, and we do like to kind of recruit out in the wild. There's nothing wrong with coming in through the Discord. Everybody's going to go through the same path. You start off as a cadet. You go through your RL progression. You get to, you get your rank, you get your patch and all that stuff, and start doing your training. So it's the same path for everybody. It's just we have a very passionate wing commander. He's very hands-on, and he wants his pilots to be, people of character, people that are efficient. And unfortunately, not everybody makes it in. We're, like I say, we're very proficient at what we do, and we are based off the military, and with the military comes discipline and order. I mean, we're not totalitarians, but at the same time, we want to have a very good experience for people that are looking for that type of a military sim.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely get that. I think that's good. I think that makes the group more prestigious and even more elite. Like, the people who do get in, they have a sense of pride that, hey, I went through the training or the qualifications and the requirements to be a part of this group. You know what I mean? And I think it just makes being a part of the group feel more special.
Yeah, and then we like longevity, we like activity. So people tend to, if you're working hard to get in someplace, you tend to stick around and stay. And then once you start flying with the guys and actually doing your missions, doing your training, then it forms a brotherhood, a camaraderie. And it's just a good thing, for people like you say that are sitting here flying around, lone wolf, solo pilot. Well, you get with a group, and then you get a little bit more out of the sim.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I am on the runway, lined up. I see the 2 scout aircraft ahead of now airborne, and I am going to go ahead, hold the brakes down, and we'll split up. I believe the procedure in the manual said 70%, which was surprising to me. Pretty high.
The
Stabilize.
C-17 is very
Yeah, and the
powerful.
17. Yeah, it is. And all right, full power, release the brakes. We're rolling. On runway 33. Toga in the chat.
So a fun fact, Blue, is I was in the 1st 75th Ranger Battalion before I was a rotary wing aviator.
Cool.
And I actually jumped out of the C-17.
That is so cool.
Now, I do believe they discontinued it for various reasons, but when it first came out, I'm giving away my age here, early 90s. I was airborne, and I did get an opportunity to jump out of this bird for 2 jumps. And I'll tell you what, it's an experience like you wouldn't believe, but it's a very, very powerful opening shock. Not like the C-130. C-130, it's almost like a cushion. But you come out the C-17 and it's going so fast, that opening shock is crazy for your parachute.
Wow, that is really cool. And from what I understand, and I don't know a whole lot, I wasn't in the military myself or anything like that, but when you guys launch, or not launch, when you dive out of a C-17, and maybe same with other military transport aircraft, the chute automatically opens, is that correct?
So you have what's called a static line, and this is just for standard jumping. There is high altitude, low opening, and high altitude, high opening. That's normally a special ops thing. Navy SEAL, Special Forces, Delta Force, things like that. But most of the time, if just a general purpose soldier is jumping out, it's going to be static line, and it will just pull out your chute and it'll open it up, and you guide yourself to the ground and you continue mission.
Cool. I didn't know that for the longest. I saw a video, or maybe I met somebody. I can't remember how I got introduced to that. I was like, so because I went skydiving myself once, just as a civilian for fun, and obviously
Right.
I went tandem because it was my first time. But I remember seeing a video. I was like, wait, that chute's already open when it came out. I was like, what the heck? So that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Well, thank you for your service, man. And I mean, shoot, we could go on a 2-hour flight just asking you questions about how that went. But yeah, man, definitely gonna be keeping you in my DMs for some things. You touched on a rotors pilot as well. That's something I'm definitely really interested in too. Do you do any of that in the sim now, or that's what you do for a living now?
Well, I'm actually retired. I'm a disabled veteran. I did 22 and a half years of service, and 13 and a half of those years was a UH-60 Black Hawk pilot with most of medevac mission. I did do a little air assault when I was in Korea, but for the most part, the majority of my career was air ambulance.
Oh, pretty cool. Yeah, I have one of my best friends. His wife is a Black Hawk pilot.
Nice.
She's actually based in Houston now, but before she was in, was she at Austin or Chicago? Yeah, Chicago, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool. Definitely respect what you guys do out there, because I think one thing that sim can definitely teach us is the fact that we have to respect these different disciplines in aviation, because pretty sure they're pretty difficult to get a hold of in real life. Dre, what's up, my friend? Dre Sanchez. He's a vet right there in the chat. Puerto Rican
Nice.
friend.
All right.
I don't remember what he did. He could probably say it in the chat. But I know that he's been recently getting into DCS quite a lot, and getting into flying rotor helicopters as well in DCS. So me and him have done some flying together in the past, trying to do it again in the future. So right now I'm doing about 350 knots, which is quite fast for my altitude, but hey, it's, we're military. We get unrestricted climb out of here. And
That's
passing
right.
10,400 now, turning on to my flight plan. Go ahead and get the flight director. Where is the flight director? It's right here. All right, flight director is on. I'm gonna hit LNAV, and we'll see if that actually works. You can see here on our GPS, the magenta line kind of showing us we are up to the right of our flight track. While you were talking, we had a beautiful view of the gear going up and even rotating into the future. It was amazing. It was so nice. And then as well, we put the flaps up. We're all cleaned up now. Lights are still on for now. We'll leave them on. I'm still flying it by hand, kind of getting to grips with the aircraft as we are leaving Tucson, Arizona. View out here is actually really nice. I have to say that Microsoft done a good job of depicting the Tucson, Arizona area. like pretty much mostly like what do you call it stuff? The geographic whatever topographic geographic.
Yeah, the topographic part of the sim. I think they did an absolutely beautiful job with weather, the terrain, and all that. Hats off to them.
Oh yeah, for sure. We have some more vets in the chat. Um, hold on. Dave Tar says, I don't know how to say this, and I want to screw it up, but he was in the M1A1 tanker for 6 years. Go Army.
Wow.
Pretty sweet, man. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for you guys. I couldn't do it, to be honest with you. I couldn't. I went to so this lady was trying to recruit me. I was asking her about the Apache at an air show.
Right.
I was like, hey, I just want to ask you some questions, and we were talking, and she was like, yeah, I tried the DCS Apache, and we were talking about how like realistic it was and how realistic it wasn't, and the things that it's missing and stuff like that. And it was a really good conversation. But at the end, she's like, yeah, if you want to fly one of these in real life, you can still do it. You're not too old. Yeah. So basically, she tried to change it into a thing, which was cool. But I was like, yeah, I don't know that I want to go this route with my career right now.
Right.
Midnight Maverick, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Welcome, Deontay Quetis. Welcome to the stream as well. Yeah, I can't wait for Xbox to really get some of this stuff and really get to appreciate it. I think you guys will love it. So, are you an Xbox? Are you flying on Xbox? Or do you have a sim at home?
I do have a PC, but due to my injuries, I had the VR, I had the screens, the chair, and all that stuff. So I kind of wanted to lay in bed. So I used the Xbox Series X. But I found out recently that I could take my PC and set it up that way so that I can still be comfortable and fly and all that stuff. But, I got sucked into Xbox, and most of the group of the 75th Fighter Wing is Xbox. So I kind of want to be with my guys, So I'll tough it out. I'll wait for the rotary wing to show up, and I'll wait for, aircraft to show up a little bit later than PC. But, like I say, I'm with my guys and I'm on the Xbox, and that's just what it is for now.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me check on my flight plan, make sure we're going the right direction, because I don't think we are. We're going southeast. We should be flying northwest. So I'm going to start banking to the left. I think what it was is at my first waypoint, because I had technically a departure in my flight plan. My first waypoint was southeast of the airport. So now we're banking left to go back and re-intercept our flight plan, heading back to the northwest. So a nice moderate left bank as we're still climbing past 15,300. Speed 308-ish at the moment. I'm going to try to get auto throttle on here. I'm working on that. Be a bit more consistent.
Yeah, the auto throttle always seems to help.
Oh, yeah.
Might have to have it binded to take it off sometimes, but...
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'm definitely impressed at how well your pilots fly with Xbox controllers. That's very, very, it's not easy to do.
So that is part of the training. We take them through the ringer. The first thing that you do when you join the 75th is you will learn to formation fly. Our wing commander ran a Thunderbird's flight squadron, a virtual one, and he's really big on formation. And it comes in handy when you're doing missions, and we'll have virtual air shows and things like that. So that's one of the first things that our pilots learn to do is fly formation and be proficient with it.
That's pretty cool. If you guys are just joining the stream, we are in the C17 Globemaster. This is a freeware add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's not new. It's been out for a while. There's no special update, anything like that. Just something I want to fly for fun today. But we're joined by the 75th Fighter Wing, Grim Reaper's Squadron. They are a group of, I would say, I guess, aviation enthusiasts, milsimmers, who are majority on Xbox from what I hear, but also on PC as well, and they're escorting us over to Nelis Air Force Base as we are traveling with some very classified aircraft parts from the aircraft graveyard in Tucson, Arizona. So pretty cool. I always love hearing stories from vets, and especially on the aviation side, because it's something that most of us will never really get to see or get to experience. And we see them in video games, and we know that they're exaggerated there. But honestly, from what I hear from some of the people I know, is that some of the things that do happen, behind enemy lines, I should say, or even just out there in the, what am I trying to think? When you're out there in the service, is so crazy that you would never believe it. just love hearing the stories, and also thankful that these guys, make it back home and get to be with their families. All
So
right,
yeah, aviation is inherently dangerous. Lost a lot of friends in the war, and we continue to lose people. And you could just lose people from training accidents. So you really need to respect the aircraft. And one good thing about the sim is you don't get hurt. You can go out there, you can practice things that you normally wouldn't do in real life. Um, but yeah, it's just inherently dangerous. And just thank goodness we have a sim that where people can enjoy flying without being injured.
so I know you're a bit older now, but do you think, or what do you think about the new generation of pilots that are coming into the military and even into aviation in general? What do you think about them using this sim, I guess, for I guess preparation or for training and things like that?
Well, if you got some guys that are aspiring to be pilots, well, this is a good start. You can hop on Microsoft Flight Simulator or DCS and get a feel of how flying actually is. But there's nothing that replaces the real thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's a good start because once you get into the real training, you'll see that it's a lot more than the actual flying. Believe it or not, it's a lot of physical preparation. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of using your noggin, a lot of math, a lot of things. So, but the actual flying portion and getting used to how these aircraft actually feel and operate, especially if it's a high fidelity or study level aircraft, will generally give you somewhat of a preparation. Give you an idea, so to
Yeah.
speak.
That's cool. That's good people to know. But yeah, I'm glad that Sims are progressing in a way that are not only introducing people to flight sim for the first time. I think it going to Xbox specifically is a massive deal because a lot more people are able to be exposed to flight sim affordably, right? Because before you'd have to have some amazing NASA computer to really have. Why can't I turn the lights off?
Well, Blue, I did fly on a $4,000 Alienware that I purchased years ago when I came off my last deployment. My last deployment was in 2008. I think it was KA-50 Black Shark that was out, and I was so in love with it that I got the virtual reality and I got the high end computer and all that. But what you come to realize is that that is very, very expensive, and not everybody else is a middle-aged, officer in the army that can go out and grab this stuff. So when it came to Xbox, it gave people an opportunity, especially little kids and or people that just can't afford a $2,000 PC at that point
Yeah.
to enjoy Sim.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's more accessible than it's ever been. I still support X-Plane and DCS. I know those are more expensive options for flight simming, and they're only available on PC and Mac.
Right.
But Xbox, with it being on Xbox, being on Game Pass, allows for so many more people to enjoy the hobby. And also, if they want to be serious about it, it's a good entry point for them to just learn about aviation, how things work. Like, when I first got started flight simming, I tell this story all the time. When I first started flight simming, I didn't know how to navigate, how to use a GPS, any of that stuff, how to find an airport. It was just take off from this airport and then just kind of fly until I get bored and then land in the grass somewhere.
Right.
I never knew how to find an airport, and I think I stepped away from flight sim for a while 'cause I was like real young. I was on my dad's computer.
Right.
Later on, I got my own PC, tried out FSX or no, it wasn't FSX. I tried out X-Plane later on, and finally started to get attached to a virtual airline. And through that virtual airline, they actually had like training materials that they created, PDFs and things like that to kind of teach you how to do basic traffic patterns, how to use a Garmin 530, like all the basics that you need to know really to get into flying from A to B. And that was super helpful. I was flying with them for I think a couple of years on X-Plane
Nice.
10. So a lot of my stuff that I learned started there, and then obviously from there I continued learning through YouTube tutorials and things like that, and that's kind of where it leads me today. But for your fighter group, now I know that there's kind of like a standard you guys want to uphold with your pilots. Is there any type of training material or any training programs that you're putting your pilots through to make their skills better, or maybe they're not that skilled and they want to get better? Like what are you guys doing to help them
So
get?
what
Yeah.
we do what we do when we induct somebody is you don't have to be the best pilot when you join. And when I say that some people don't make it, it's normally like a personality conflict, or they're just not as active as we would like. But generally, we'll take somebody that's a lump of clay. They'll go out with our instructor pilots. They'll go do training missions with us, and we sharpen them up. We get them to where they need to be. And if the aircraft behind you that you're screaming right now is a testament to what we do, you can see that these guys behind you, they're the finished product. So they can do any of our missions that we ask them to do. A new guy's not going to be able to do that. He'll start off, wingman tier 3, work his way up to wingman tier 1, then eventually flight lead. And if you're, the creme de la creme, you'll end up being one of our instructor pilots, and you'll be able to perform and teach all the aircraft, perform all the missions, and teach all the aircraft that is in your particular fighter group, because we are separated in different fighter groups.
Can you, I guess, kind of explain that a little bit? Like, how is the organization of the group? I know you said that there's different ranks you go through, like flight lead and stuff like that. But then also there's separate like groups as well. Like, can you explain a little bit about that?
Okay. Yeah. So
also, by the way, if you can relate to your people, my sim like froze up for a second, and that's the reason why they jumped ahead. So.
All right. Stand by, and I'll do that. Then I'll hop back and answer your question.
All right.
Hey guys, Blue Sim kind of locked. Okay. Copy. All right. Copy. All right. So that happens to us a lot, and they say that they caught it, and they're going to go ahead and reform.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So so the structure of the group is we're separated by service. So except for Alpha Group. So we have Alpha Group, Bravo Group, Charlie Group, Delta Group, and Fox Group. So Alpha Group is all 5th gen. Our wing commander is a big 5th gen head. He loves 5th gen planes. So he has his own group. Bravo is the Navy. So Bravo operates the F-18, the F-35 Lightning C, and the F-14 Tomcat. I'm the operations officer, but I also have my group, which is Charlie Group, which is based off the Air Force. So that would be the F-35 Alpha, eventually the F-22 Raptor when the top mock comes out, the F-16 Fighting Falcon, and the F-15 Strike Eagle. Delta Group is based off the Marine Corps. That would be the F-35 Lightning B, the F-18 Super Hornet Marine Corps livery. And we do have a Harrier coming in, and that's, even though that's legacy, will be part of the Marine Corps. And also the new Osprey will go to the Marine Corps as well. And the final one is the Fox Group, which is our foreign fighters. And that would be, right now, it's the Typhoon and Su-30, Su-57, and the MiG-29. So there's a lot of different options for what people want to fly in our group. But don't be fooled, because there's a lot of aircraft. That doesn't make the quality goes down. That just makes you an expert in that particular aircraft.
Right. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I like the organized. It sounds very organized. Any ballpark number of, like, how many active members you guys have?
Right now we're hovering about 20 to 25. We have a few people that are inactive, but people have their real world lives, and we don't push. Yeah, you don't have to ever worry about exiting our group for real world life stuff. Death in the family, school. We have people that are going through pilot training, but the funny thing is they still want to be part of the group, even though they're actually going through real life pilot training. So if that's not a testament on how how people want to be part of this group, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, for sure. Have you heard, you guys may be more in tuned in this subject than I am. Have you heard anything at all, any whispers from developers or anything from Microsoft about a tanker, like an air-to-air refueling tanker?
That's supposed to be coming in the next update. And the beautiful thing about it,
update 11? Like next
yes.
week? Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming in the next update. And the beautiful thing about that is it's study level for free. And I failed to mention that we do have another part of our Discord or our group called Strategic Command, and they are doing what you're doing. They're in charge of that's ran by Commander Sixpack. That's his call sign. They do all the big heavies and the strike aircraft. It's like if we get a B-1 Lancer, right? We just got the 117, the 117s in there. Mm-hmm. So he's very, very excited about this tanker, because that's one of the things that we were missing when we did our tanker mission last night, we have to simulate the boom and all that. So if this thing has a boom that comes out the back, that will be lovely. Trust me when I say that. It will be very
Oh
lovely.
man, for that's one thing I really want when it comes to. Yeah, that's one thing I want is that it's air to air refueling. Now it's gonna be difficult, and they're gonna have to change the distance that you fly from each other and stuff like that, which I think they've adjusted it, haven't they? Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but I'm looking forward to it. That's like I was kind of saying this before the show or for the stream, is that one of the reasons why I don't do more military stuff is because I play DCS World and it's kind of ruined every other game or sim that has tried to do military aviation. And it's just missing a lot of the combat aspects of it. But there's a lot more military does rather than just shoot at people, and on Microsoft Flight Sim you can simulate that. But for me, it's like the jets weren't that impressive. It just wasn't enough content there for me. But now, recently, we're getting better jets. I mean, I flew the F-22, the Top Mach Studios one, which I didn't realize
Wow, there's
wasn't on
very
Xbox.
nice. Yes.
And so I was impressed by that one. The F-35 that you guys are flying right now, actually pretty impressed by that as well. I have pretty much all of them. All the U.S. jets I have, the F16, F18, Super Hornet, plus I have the free mod, the Super Warrior mod as well, which I don't know. I know you're on Xbox, so you probably don't know much about that one, but that thing is amazing. I was just gonna say that.
We do have a PC representative, Oni. He does all of our media command, and he keeps us updated on everything, what's coming and what's on PC. So we're pretty familiar what PC has, especially since we do have a couple of PC users. So we're in the loop, but we are waiting for some of these specialized aircraft and possibly freeware if they find a way to do that to come to Xbox, so that we can also enjoy flying a C17 Globemaster.
Yeah, I agree. I
From
really,
the graveyard to its final destination.
I'm really hoping for that freeware section in the marketplace. I think that'd be great.
And
But
if you
yeah,
have
go
tried the
ahead.
Typhoon Blue, you might want to look into that. The Typhoon is a very high fidelity aircraft, even on Xbox. So give that a look.
I'm more looking into the what's that other one? The Osprey is what I'm looking
Yes,
for. I'm not
we
sure
are.
who made that, who's making it, or when it comes out. I saw 21 Murphy, a friend of mine. I saw him fly the other day, which
Mhm.
looked pretty cool. But looking forward to that. The reason the Typhoon doesn't really have my attention, this is no offense to anybody out there, but it's just some planes. I'm just not interesting to me. It doesn't matter how study level or how amazing it is.
Right, right.
It's just not my plane, right? And the Typhoon is one of those. I think it's a very popular plane for people in the world, but just at the moment for me, maybe I might change my mind later. Just not. It's kind of like the Harrier as well for me. Like the Harrier is a great plane. People love that plane, but it's just I don't
Right,
know.
right.
There's something about it for me that doesn't click. So I'm just not extremely interested in that one. The same with the Typhoon, but yeah, I know I'm sure it is really good, and hopefully people will fly it and will enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely different strokes for different folks, and that's why we do offer such a wide array of aircraft. Because number one, we don't want to pigeonhole anybody into an aircraft. I mean, you can basically fly what you want, except for actual missions. But at the same time, we want people exposed to the different aircraft that they may want to fly. So if
Yeah.
somebody comes and say, "Hey, look, it looks like you guys are mainly United States," well, we have our foreign fighters group, and we have our commander for that and our instructor pilots, and we'll get you in just like we would any other aircraft. So yeah, it's a mixed bag, and people like what they like, and I don't blame them.
I am speeding up, I think. Still climbing. We're 1,000 feet away from 30K. Took our sweet time getting here. But I set my speed to Mach 0.89. We'll see if we get there when we level off. We're actually just about to fly over Phoenix, Arizona. It's gonna be on our left wing. Probably won't see it because of all the cloud cover out there, but just for people in the stream to kind of understand where we are. Took off from Tucson, Arizona, from the airplane graveyard and Air Force Base out there, and now we're headed for Nelis Air Force Base over just north of Las Vegas. So pretty cool. And so far, man, it's the Microsoft is just such a beautiful sim, and it seems like it doesn't matter what I fly or where I go. Every time I'm just impressed, and I just keep re-falling in love with this game.
Well, the fact that you have the world at your fingertips, I mean, you just can't beat that with a stick, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You can actually kind of just see a tease of the city down there between the clouds. Mostly overcast out here. What we could do, I mean, we could just for the heck of it, since we're just about to cruise, if you guys are just joining the stream, we do have animated doors, and we can open and close the doors. So we actually switch to, I think it's called airdrop mode. And if I go back, you'll see the door is going to open up, but it's actually just going to open up flat. It's not going to like drop in a ramp like it does when you're on the ground. And there it is. Then we could actually simulate doing an airdrop. Now, one thing would be really nice is if they made some kind of way to actually drop paratroopers simulatedly. That would be epic.
Very, very nice if they can come up with something like that. Or, you know, fun fact, that aircraft does drop vehicles as well, so you can drop Humvees, you can drop parts and supplies. And you know, I've seen that in real life, and I'll tell you, it's a beautiful thing. If they could bring that to the sim, it would be wonderful.
That would be cool. Yeah, I know it's possible. I've seen things done in Microsoft that show me that things like that are possible. Like one great example is our friends over at High Performance Group, the one that make the H-145 helicopter, which sadly is not on Xbox, but it's a great helicopter. They had a military variant that shoots missiles.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and actually has explosions when it contacts the ground when those missiles hit, which is crazy. They also have a EMS variant, which is emergency medical services, a firefighter variant that does actually extinguish fires. There's a lot of really cool things that they've figured out how to do. How they've done it, I don't know, but they've done things that no other developer has figured out how to do. And they're not the only developer who are going out there and, you know, finding ways to innovate and take full advantage of Microsoft Flight Sim. So like stuff like that, like, yeah, it sounds kind of like a crazy idea and it's not really been done in a flight sim, but I think it's possible. I think if somebody just puts their head down and really focus and digs through the code, they could probably figure it out. Look at that, we got 35 right there behind us.
I think they can figure that. Oh, it looks like you have company, Blue. Is that another C17 Globemaster is joining the flight?
Yes, it is. Yes, wow. It is. It might be the one that took off with us. I'm not sure if that's the same one or not, but yeah, we're here standing here at the standing here in the back, just watching these guys behind us. Very nice tight formation there by your group here, which I'm really impressed by the skill. Like I want to get like them. I want to be I want to be as good as them. We did a stream, like I said, last week in the 22 and in the F18, and I was really struggling to match speed and stuff like that. And but yeah, this is a skill, like you said, that you guys teach. Like he's gonna fly right into the right into the cargo bay.
I think he's showing off a little bit now. That might be Commander Viking. I can't tell, but that's probably.
Oh, if you're Commander Viking, rock your wings. I don't think it's him.
Yeah, but you're welcome to. I mean, if you want to do this type of thing with us, it doesn't have to be on the stream. You're welcome. You know, come to our strategic command, and we'll fly with you.
Well, I was actually gonna. I held back saying this. Are we descending? Because my contrails just ended. Me checking the flight to make sure we're not dying. Okay, we're maintaining altitude. I think it's just kind of oscillating up and down, but we're okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, honestly, what you guys are doing right now is kind of what I've been looking for, to be a part of. I gotta look into and see how much time I can dedicate to that. But this, what you guys have been doing, is something I've been looking into doing since I got into flight sims. I've always been interested in military aviation. The issue is that it seemed to me like all of the like virtual military groups were all inactive. That's what it seemed like to me. At least on like X-Plane P3D side back when I first was looking at it. And so
if I can interject, that is our main focus, is activity. Our wing commander, a lot of groups you go to and the leader is not present. I hate to say that, but they'll make a group. They'll have people underneath them and they're expected to run the group, and who knows how they're going to run it. We have a military hierarchy that starts with Flight Deck's our wing commander, and he's on every day. He's very active. He's very hands-on, and you're just not going to be an empty face in our, not you personally, but I'm just talking about anybody that
No, no, you're
joins.
good.
You're not going to be a number. You're not going to be an empty face in the wing. You're going to have a position. You'll be a flight lead. You'll be a wingman tier one. You'll be highly trained. And there are solo missions. There are group missions. There are deployments. And I know it sounds like a lot, but it is tailored to who can make it, who can't. If you want to do the live portion, you can. Like an example of a live portion would be what we're doing now. Hey, we're taking off on a deployment. We're escorting all our parts and pieces to the combat area. And then we get out there and we commence combat operations, or it can be static, where I will put out a mission for you to do on your own that affects everybody else. So I'm looking for your proof, an Xbox clip, a YouTube video. Just give us the proof that you did the mission. And then that's how it all comes together and keeps us all active. And the thing about our group is you can log in 1, 2 in the morning on a holiday or a non-holiday on a Monday, and there's probably going to be members. It might not necessarily be your squadron or your group, but there'll be members on, and these guys tend to get together and they'll start doing training together, or they'll just do a fun flight in which you can fly all the different aircraft that you want. So that's kind of how we operate. I just wanted to get that in there because activity is a big deal for us.
Yeah, I think for anybody who's looking into being a part of what do you call you guys? Is it like a like it's not a virtual airline, but what are you?
So we are a simulative, a military fighter sim wing is what we are. We're trying to represent all the services for the United States and foreign fighters. So we don't get into the politics of things. I know there's the thing going on with Russia and Ukraine, whatever, but we do have Russian aircraft because people like to fly them, and we use them as a red air, or we might have missions to where you're flying for that service. But it's just a thing to cater to. It's to give people a home. That's what we're trying to do. Hey, I'm on the sim. I'm flying around. This is a cool aircraft. The sim is beautiful. I'm bored. Okay, well, come up. We give you a home. We train you, and not only do you learn about your aircraft, you learn a little bit about the military if you haven't been in the military, but you become highly proficient. And people tend to they tend to feel good about that. You come in, you come in as a lump of clay, like I like to refer to the guys, and you leave out a sharpened spear. And just look at the guys that are flying with you. That's the testament to our group.
Yeah, they're looking really good. And I was gonna say one of the big things when you're joining a group of people is the activity. Like the last thing you want to do is join a Discord or join a virtual airline or a fighter group and no one's around. So it's definitely activity is super important when it comes to that. Really quickly, before we talk more about it, I want to kind of showcase the interior of the C17. So obviously here is the left and right seat. You got a couple seats here for other people, whatever they do back there. And then here we have the crew area, another seat, and then downstairs, walk down here real quick. Obviously the big cargo bay everybody knows about. Pretty well modeled, has all the seats and everything. Here's the loadmaster's chair.
That's accurate, Blue. That's very accurate.
Yeah, they've really gone all out on this thing. And it's the things this hasn't gotten an update in a long time. I was actually looking on Flight Sim TO to see if I could find a more updated version, and it hasn't been updated in a while. And I was like, I wonder if they're still working on it. Have they abandoned it? Are they, just kind of working, with their heads down quietly? Are they, some developers of things of this quality will also like secretly just kind of tuck away and make a payware version. And so are they working on a payware version? It might be Xbox compatible as well. Who knows? Either way, as it is, visually, it's really nice. Obviously, flight model wise, all the little system stuff is going to have to take some work to do, but it's really cool, enjoyable plane to fly so far. And yesterday I took it out for a quick test. Because I saw some pictures of it landing like on dirt, and I was like, I want to see what it looks like landing on dirt. And so I went out middle of nowhere in the desert, tried to land it on the dirt, and it has some really nice effects coming off the dirt of all the engines. It's just really cool. So
yes, that is a real world thing. There'll be situations to where you don't have the runway to land on a smooth surface, and they have to land these things on improvised strips.
And look at that scenery. One other thing I want to show, just as a quick gap, is we were talking about flight control replay earlier at the beginning of the stream. V5 is coming out tomorrow. So if you have the old flight control replay, or maybe you don't have it at all, it's a replay system for Microsoft Flight Sim. I highly recommend it. I love being able to watch my landings and even my whole flight, being able to watch it back. You can save the replay file and go watch it a year later. Like, it never goes away unless you delete it. But anyways, I want to show you guys something really cool about the ghost plane feature that I mentioned earlier. Now, right now we're flying in formation with some pretty professional like aviators. You guys are killing it with the 75th Fighter Squadron Grim Reapers. Let me bring this up real quick. But if you're not a part of their group and you're all alone and you want to imitate something like this, you can use something like Flight Control Replay. And then I'm actually going to change the settings for the ghost. I'll make him, I don't know, maybe like, say 10. I'm not sure how far that is. I'm going to hit save and close. And I'm going to activate the ghost plane and see where it shows up. Where'd it go? It might have crashed, I think, because I do have a beta version. Let me try it again. Stand by. See, this is what always happens. We try to show stuff off, it doesn't work.
That's how it always is, man.
That's how it works. Hold on, let me try it again. That's hilarious.
So, Blue, you're just trying to create another copy of the aircraft that you're in now?
Yes.
Flying? Okay.
Yes, that is all I'm really doing. I'm going to try it one more time.
That other Globemaster is hanging pretty tight, man.
He's doing a good job back there. I don't know who it is. I don't know who that is. I don't have tags on, but he's doing a pretty good job over there. All right, I pressed it, but I don't know. It's behind me. Where is it at? I gotta go look for it. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is right there. That's my, I think that's my, is that me? I'm gonna turn it on and off. Yep, that's me. Cool, yeah, so there. I have created basically a clone using Flight Control Replay V5.
That's sweet.
And it's gonna basically just fly formation with me. If I bank, it will bank. It's affected by the wind. I can actually get ahead of it, which is pretty cool. Like if I turn a right turn to the south, for example, it'll reposition itself to be near me. It won't always be on my left wing. It won't always be on my right wing. It's really interesting. I was playing around with it yesterday. Some people might have spotted me at Nelis Air Force Base flying in multiple jets trying to test out this feature. And I flew F-22 and was doing a little, it just looked really cool. It was a really cool look. But it's a feature that they're really proud of, and I think they've done a really cool job of doing it. And it's a full fidelity model of the plane. It doesn't seem to hurt my frames at all. At least the exterior model, I should say. I actually tested this in a helicopter as well, and it fully modeled everything. I was like, wow. So it's not like a low-res duplicate.
See it as well? Do other people see it as well? Like, no. Do my pilots see it?
No, okay. Your pilots won't see it. Sadly, only I will see it. Basically, the way it does it is it inserts an AI plane.
Okay.
With your aircraft. So that's the way it does it. One other thing that I can show later on when we land our recorded landing replay with Flight Control Replay. But another thing it does is you could basically save your replay. I'm actually going to speed my camera up. You could save your replay, which is nothing new. I think it did it before too, and then you could actually load that replay as an AI aircraft. So you don't have to, oh, look at that. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of shots you can create. Oh my God, look at that.
That is very sweet, Blue. I like it. Very nice.
We got a screenshot. I gotta get a screenshot of this. That's epic.
Definitely.
That's crazy.
That's nice.
Oh my God. What? Oh man. That is so freaking cool. What was I talking about? Got distracted.
So excited, huh?
Yeah, I was not expecting that. It even has a contrail. Like, what? Come on. Oh, we lost our other C17. Oh man. It's all right. But yeah. Oh, the AI. So if I save a replay, and I end my flight, or I can just stay there, whatever. I can spawn in any plane. Matter of fact, I can spawn in an F35, and then I can go back and watch my replay of my C17 landing at the airport while I'm in a different plane. I don't know how it does it, but you can basically watch, like, you could like fly a whole air show routine and then go and sit on the stands and just watch it. Very
Wow, look at the
impressive.
con.
Say again. Oh yeah, the Contras as well. Yep.
Yeah.
David Bucacci, what's up? Oh, it's you. David Bucacci is the other C17. Sweet man, bro, you're killing it right now. You might want to consider contacting the 75th.
We have a spot for him in Strategic Command.
Yeah, there you go, bro. There you go. I know my door's still open. I'm just getting a breeze in here. It's a little hot. Let's see how far we are away. I don't think VNAV works, so we're just gonna have to wing it on the way down. And we'll just kind of use the VFR map, get an idea. A little ways to go. We just passed Phoenix, so we're good. Once we I've flown into Vegas enough to kind of get an idea when we're gonna get close. We're only at 30,000 feet, so not too much altitude to lose anyways. Go ahead.
Oh, so as you get closer, Blue, those 2 scout aircraft are going to go and make sure that the airspace is clear, and they're going to orbit, and then you and the rest of the group will land, and then they'll come in behind you. Just kind of give you an idea of what they're going to do.
Question in the chat for you guys. Matter of fact, if you're watching the stream, if you're interested, or maybe you're just curious, feel free to send your question in the chat, and I know he's gonna be welcome to answer any of your questions about their group. But so Jared is asking, what server does the 75th use? Because he's in the UK. If he wants to join, he's worried about ping.
We're mostly on the Eastern server, but we have guys from Australia and various other countries that are part of the wing, and they don't seem to have any issues.
Good, that's good. Yeah, I'll just give it a try, Jared. I haven't really had a lot of issues connecting with other people from other parts of the world. As long as you're on the same like Microsoft server, it seems to work pretty well. I have had issues seeing other people just in general. I did a bush flight a week ago, and we spent about an hour trying to be able to actually see each other. So it's just sometimes Microsoft has a bit of server issues, but figure it out. Oh yes, like that. David Bucacci, the C17 behind me, is in Africa. Smoother than ever. Smoother than ever. Look at him. His door is open too. I will say, for those who are flying on my wing, I'm sorry the plane is oscillating up and down a bit. That is not me. That's just autopilot. But you guys doing a really good job sticking with me.
Yeah, they're taught to react to the movements of the aircraft that's leading them.
So, can you give me an example of like some like the missions you guys kind of run over there?
So we do close air support missions. We do combat flight patrol missions. Just basically anything they do in real life. Of course, it has to be simulated, and that's the tricky part. We will use our foreign fighters as red air. We'll have them go out to the same, like we'll have somebody trying to take out a target. We'll have them defending the target, and they merge, and then they do a dogfight. And we actually have a 75th Arms room in the Discord, to where if you have a question on how to employ the weapon systems, you can go into that arms room. There'll be a video, an example, like if you're using a Fox 2 heat seeker. You have to have a certain visual in your HUD. You have to be a certain distance, and you have to have a certain time frame before you can consider that a kill. So, like I said, you have to use your imagination. Some of it is easier than other aspects, but I think we did a pretty good job of simulating most missions, and you get rewarded for it. You get skulls for kills. You get what's called shacks for ground target kills, and you can become an ace in the wing, and you can get rank. And like the more stuff that you do, the more active you are, well, the more you'll get promoted and move up the chain. And we do kind of pick out the guys that are the most active, and that's who we like to make flight leads. And like I said, if you get enough, you become an instructor pilot, and so on and so forth.
Cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Really inspiring too, honestly, because on DCS World, me and probably 10 other guys, I think right now, have been kind of softly trying to organize. You know what I mean? We've been softly trying to organize our group because we call it the Blue Arrow Force. It's a very it's we have cool liveries. That's basically it right now. But we're all, you know, very various like skill level when it comes to different jets and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a group where we just like to fly together on DCS World and attempt to do missions. But we would like to in the future to do something a bit more organized, where we could, you know, give. Oh, look at that dry lake bed down there. That's so cool.
That is very sweet.
Do something more organized, you know, where we could actually have like a ranking system, a training program, because I want to be able to train people as they come over. A lot of people get into DCS and it's very intimidating, learning how DCS works by itself and then learning how the aircraft work. So we want to start training people, you know, and helping them as they start their DCS journey. But we're just not organized yet right now because part of it mostly is because of me, because of my inconsistency and being busy. I'm not able to focus always on DCS. Sometimes I'm focused on Microsoft Flight Sim, whether I'm doing sponsored videos or, you know, whatever that thing may be. Like a lot of things go on. So, but we do have some great members who have been carrying it and helping me out. But the point is, what you guys are doing is really inspiring. So what we kind of would like to do sometime in the far future. But really cool. Like I said, what you guys are doing is something I've been looking for since I got into Flight Sim. And I'm not just saying this because we're live and because you're on the phone, but I really am going to look into, you know, your program and see if I can, you know, do more either collaborations or just flying with you guys off stream as well. I think would be pretty cool because there's a lot of fun to be had, and I keep telling people this: there's a lot of fun to be had in Microsoft Flight Sim as a whole, and on the milsim side, it's a lot of fun to be had as well. But you got to, like you said, told me earlier, you got to use your imagination and, you know, some community never helps as well.
Yeah, you just need to be part of a group, and like you say, use your imagination. Like I say, if you're lone wolfing and you're by yourself, it's just never fun, man. Get part of a group, even if it's not ours. Get with some friends, get with a group, and you'll get a lot more out of the sim. I promise.
It's funny. I tell this story a bunch too. When before I got into flight sims, I was playing GTA, and I was actually a part of a fighter wing group on GTA with the laser jets. Um, and I was with them for a couple of years. It was a lot of fun, and we did like different types of training ops. We did merge practice, and we would merge against other fighter wing groups and kind of compete against them and stuff. It was a lot of fun, and we did server takeovers. It was like, all kind of things. It was fun. But this was again before Microsoft and all that. Oh, got another big stutter. Sorry about that. All right, we should be getting pretty close. I can see the mountains are changing down there beneath us. I can see that river right there, which is going to turn into the Hoover Dam in not too long, and lead up to Lake Mead, which I think I see off my. Is that just? It's just a shadow over there. But yeah, I think we need to start making our way down into Nelis now. I'm gonna double check. It says we're 30 miles from something. This GPS is very vague. Doesn't give me much information.
Yeah, I mean it is freeware, so
yeah.
good, but it is freeware.
If we have to circle we're definitely gonna have to circle. We're way too high. Coming up to the lake in about 50 miles, it looks like. And let's see, I don't even know how to make the plane descend. So we're gonna take our time getting down. Okay, I guess I just start scrolling down. So we're descending now. Right, I'm gonna start with 10,000 and then we'll keep making our way down. I'm sure you guys are a lot more knowledgeable than I am. What runways does Nelis usually use?
I don't know offhand. I'm sure my guys already have it up. They're probably contacting ATC because there's a lot of chatter going on in the background that you probably don't hear. I hear them talking because I have them on the mic, but I can ask them right quick. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. Spider,
Hey,
okay, welcome to the stream. Good to see you, man. Mad Matt UK, welcome aboard. Is call signs of used for heavies that are going from point A to point B, cargo personnel? I'm Raf. Oh, that's cool. Like in real life, you work on F-15 Strike Eagles? That's dope. Somebody posted a picture on my Discord the other day of them refueling. I think it was a Super Hornet. Can't remember who it was. I think I just froze again. If I did, I think it's because Nelis and the LA area. I have Fly Tampa, Las Vegas scenery. All that's loading in right now, so I'm getting a few stutters as we're approaching the city. We're currently flying
Blue,
over the lake.
2-1 left.
Go ahead.
They're saying 2-1 left is what my guys are calling out.
All right, so that's gonna be landing south then.
Roger.
Sounds good. We'll take 2-1 left. It is a bit overcast, but it should be high overcast. Once we get beneath these clouds, we should be able to hopefully be able to see everything. All right, we are descending. We're definitely too high, so we're gonna circle the airport until we get down. Oh my god, look at all the traffic on our map. Since we're flying together, I don't want to just like nosedive and lose everybody, so we'll keep it civilized.
Yeah, well, they're pretty proficient, man. I think you can kind of do what you would like to do, and they'll react. Like I say, I have him on the mic, and I could just hear them communicating. There's a lot that goes into this. I wish that your audience can hear what I'm hearing, because they are really communicating, because they want it to look good, and they want to represent the 75th, and let you have a good experience on the stream. So they are.
I'll tell you this much: you guys look great already. I don't know how the stream feels about it, but you guys look great to me. And sadly, again, I just stuttered again. I think it's the scenery loading, but you guys done a great job dealing with that issue. Being able to reform with me, rejoin with me. With the freezing up for 2 seconds, pretty big difference in timing there. But yeah, we're sitting down into the Las Vegas area. You still see our formation plane, our ghost plane on our left is obviously going to be there until I turn it off. I will turn it off before we land. I'll just turn on the regular replay mode. Man, I'm getting bad stutters now. Sheesh, I am sorry.
Yeah, it could just be the scenery.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the scenery I have. I'm like getting them every few seconds now.
We were actually having a problem with a lot of the guys on Xbox had downloaded the Vegas pack as well as Nelis, and it was crashing the sim. So
wow,
yeah, that's unfortunate. I just wish that when they release the updates, the actual developers would go back in. And I know it's a lot of work to kind of update their product, but it does make for a disappointing experience sometimes. You're coming in like we are now, and you want to have that beautiful landing, and then it crashes or stutters, and that's unfortunate.
I would actually, because I don't really spend a whole lot of time flying on Xbox, but what are some issues? Actually, before we go into that, we're flying overhead right now, Nelis. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn autopilot off, and I am going to head northeast. And probably loop back once we lose some altitude. Actually, I think I'll just do a few right turns around here, and then I'll head that way. But I was going to ask you, what are some things that, besides the lack of being able to get a lot of the, the mods that you want, what are some things that you guys are struggling with on the Xbox side?
Well, just in general, lots of crashes. Now it's gotten better. They have done some updates with the world updates and sim updates and stuff like that. I just think it's native to the sim, period, whether PC or Xbox. But crashes is the main thing. Like I say, you're coming in for a beautiful landing, or coming off a mission, and these guys need to land to send their proof, and then they crash, and there goes your flight log. So
yeah, that's never good.
Yeah. Another thing is, like, I don't know if you're familiar with this particular issue, but there's the Xbox Series X and there's the Xbox Series S. Well, the S users can't see people in the same plane. Like sometimes people will come up they'll be in an F35, but they'll come up as a bush plane, or they'll come up as a Learjet or whatever. And most of the Xbox guys can still see, like if you own the aircraft, you can actually see the aircraft. I think that's having to do with the power of the X versus the S, and maybe they can't work with that, but they probably need to come up with a fix for that, because it is very annoying. You're out there, in our case, like we're running a mission, and we have a mixed bag, F35s, F22s and whatnot, and then some guys are coming up as Learjets, and you really can't pause the mission for that, and it's just it kind of takes away from the immersion.
Yeah, big time. You never want to be in a military You never want to be flying military formation and have a freaking Learjet. I know you guys are sadly not able to see me on the Xbox as a C17 because you don't have this mod.
Right.
But if you guys are all on Xbox and you're flying Xbox compatible things, it doesn't make any sense to not be able to see each other in the correct
That's
aircraft.
exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. It's like if you're on Xbox and this aircraft exists on Xbox, you should see it as a C17 Globemaster and not a 747.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm at 8,000 feet, 230 knots, making a right turn. Trying to make my way back towards Nelis. We're now north of the field. And visibility is not great down here. I'm gonna head straight east. I'm gonna get over these mountains. I'm gonna get somewhere out to go over these mountains. A very loose entry into Nelis today, since we're in a very basic navigation-wise aircraft. Usually I try to shoot an approach into there and stuff like that, but today we're just gonna try to get in however we can. And honestly, I think it will be really fun. I'm not sure if you guys usually simulate this, but I'd love to do a break, an overhead break.
Oh, that is one of the things we train on, is an overhead break, actually. So if you do that, they will pick up on it. They will say, "Oh, he's doing an overhead break," and they will follow suit. So you don't worry about like deviating from what you were gonna do initially, because they will pick up on that.
Copy that. Dub, welcome to the stream, man. Skylar Oliver, yes, this is a freeware plane. The C17 Globemaster on Flight Sim TO. I think I have the link in the description down on YouTube. Oh yeah, we're getting some rain to the north of the field. I'm also noticing behind us we had some snow on the tops of the mountains, and I was here last week and there was no snow there. So very cool feature, Microsoft Flight Sim. All right, banking to the right, 7,500. We'll get our speed down below 250 here. Visibility is not great, so we gotta watch out for these mountains. Got some scattered showers in the area. And this thing loses speed like a maniac.
Flying rock, huh?
Yeah, man, flying rock for real. All right, I'm gonna hit record on flight control replay, so you can start recording from now on. And watch everything back. I believe, and I have not figured out how to do it yet, so I want to say sorry to the developer. I can't show this off today. But there is a way to record other sim objects around you. I think we gonna get over this mountain and then turn right, I believe. Yeah. You can record other sim objects around you. So like, say for example, today we have, I don't know if it works with multiplayer objects, but we have a couple objects around us. We have an F35, another C17. They should be, getting some rain on the windshield. Sweet. You should be able to record them too and watch them back on your replay as well. But I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a spicy landing here with these conditions.
It will be very spicy. That weather is pretty intimidating.
We're flying through showers. There's showers all to the north, and they're moving. They're on the way. Like, they're not sitting here. All right, we're just to the north of the field. I do not have eyes yet. So, all right, we should be coming in for final. I'll try the overhead brake. I've never done it in a C17, but I'm going to try it. By the way, I think it's this week, actually. I think it is. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, 75th, but there is a anniversary air show event going on at Nelis in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, am I lost? What is that? I know it's right here, because we're in the Bravo now. There's mountains in front of me. This is why I'm confused. Oh, it's that way. Okay, we need to make a sharper turn. That's why. Like, why is there mountains over there?
Go around for free.
Why are there mountains where the airport should be? That's what. But yeah, there's a a big air show happening in Nelis in real life. If you look on Sky Vector or any, you know, chart place that has TFRs, there's a temporary flight restriction supposed to be there. I think it's this weekend. I think I was flying there last week. I saw it, and it said that it happened sometime this week. So
Yeah, I'll look it up. I like those air shows, especially at a iconic place such as Nellis, or at Miramar or Pensacola NES. Those type shows.
uh, man, this thing feels heavy. Like I am really on the joystick right now. I'm putting in so much throttle to keep this thing from falling out of the sky. Literally feels like a rock. Flaps are not down or anything. All right, I see the field. Wow, it's much closer than I thought it was. All right, so we're gonna definitely fly over because we're not landing. On our right is Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm a big racing fan, so every time I fly over it, I point it out. Never been there in real life, but I always recognize it. So this is gonna be our runway right here. We will be approaching from this side. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a break to the left. I'm gonna go around that mountain and come back in for left traffic. So we're gonna do. I'm gonna put my gear down. I'm gonna go full dirty here, just for the fans down there at Nelis. Gear should be coming down. Flaps should be coming down to get nice and. Let's in the line. We probably could smash it down if we wanted to. We're gonna do a nice overhead, like they do at the air shows. Once we get to the midway point, we'll clean it up. Full throttle, and we'll roll out at the end. There's Las Vegas off our nose right there. All right, and pull it off. Let's see how agile this big thing is. Not very.
Probably not very. That was going to be my exact words.
not very. I didn't stall it though.
Yeah, my guys are used to this, so they're probably right with you. I mean, I know you don't have time to pan because you're trying to make the landing, but I'm sure they're with you.
Yeah, they're pretty close, so I'm pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna make my way around this mountain and then come back in. One thing I've always wondered, because Nelis is a place I go to pretty often in the sim, and I've always kind of wondered about the procedures for military activity out here, because it is literally next to a suburb area. Like, there's no way these guys are afterburner. Like,
no, they probably have a restriction to. They probably just use their afterburner to take off and then cut it, because it can cause damage and noise pollution. So they probably go out to the Nellis Ranges or whatever, and then they shoot and scoot out there.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a really cool picture on Discord the other day. They found on Google Maps or Google Earth, when how it takes pictures or whatever. There was a A10 doing a strafe run caught on the Google Earth map. Really
That's
cool.
nice.
Really, really cool. All right, we're now on a left downwind.
Roger.
Can't see the field because on the other side of those mountains. That is all right. I am like 80% throttle keeping this thing from falling out of the sky. My door still open? It is. That's probably. We should close that. Oh, you know why? My speed brakes are on. That makes sense. Oh yeah, now we're moving. Oh, okay. All right, let's see if we can shoot this approach, make it on our first try.
Oh, I'm sure you will. You seem like you're pretty proficient at this.
I fly a lot of planes. Just say that.
So, do you get to test a lot of the new planes from developers? Do they kind of reach out to you and, hey, Blu, can you test this out for us, or anything like that going on?
Thankfully, yeah, I do. In the recent couple of years, I've had a lot of opportunities. Not so much test. I hope that's not it right there, because I'm too close. You're down, left base. But yeah, I don't really get to test them like very often. Usually I just get an early version to kind of showcase, and obviously they allow me to give feedback on it at that point too, but usually at that point it's already done and people are going to get it the way I have it, unless there's something dramatically horrible about it.
Right.
All right, I am actually going to bring speed brakes in because I am high and fast. And here we come, guys. Off at our 11 o'clock. That is Nelis Air Force Base. And in the distance on the horizon is, I'll say New York City, Las Vegas.
And it's a shame that the Las Vegas pack is not working correctly because it's a beautiful pack, especially at night. You coming in at night, you can see all the strip and hotels and things of that nature. So it's a very, very beautiful pack.
Agreed. All right, I'm gonna turn the HUD on just for people to see it. I'm not really gonna use it. I don't think it's accurate. The vertical velocity vector and whatnot, I don't think really work correctly in Microsoft Flight Sim. At least I noticed that in the F-22. Couldn't really trust it. So I'm just gonna land it visually, but I'll leave the HUD on for people who want to see that there's a HUD. Quite blurry.
Yeah, and some of the aircraft do have better avionics than others, accurate HUDs and the such.
Yep. Little windy. Hey, come on, come on, come on. There we are, we're down. Comes the nose. There's reversers, but I don't know how to activate them with this controller. So, and look at that, the flyby 35. Thank you guys so much for the escort.
You're welcome, man.
Seriously, like that was amazing. Seriously.
And like I say, Blue, you're welcome to fly anytime if you want to do another stream or you just want to even join us and be in the strategic command or whatever you want to do. Just, you're welcome to come.
I'll say this one thing. I was surprised you guys were available at this time of day. That was what blew me up. I was like, really? You guys are down?
So back to the activity thing. We have enough members to where it pretty much shifts. Like you'll have people at two in the morning. You have people at 6 in the morning. And like luckily for the stream, a lot of our command were available today. So the guys that are flying now are our creme de la creme. Our wing commander, our training officer, and one of our group commanders is out there. And the other guys were flight leads or high-ranking wingmen. So
that's great. That's great. Well, they did a great job. For some reason, I'm stuck, so I'm just gonna slew myself off the runway.
Trusty slew. Never can go wrong with
slew. That. It's so funny. I never used slew before in any other flight sim. I always thought it was just like, how dare you slew yourself? But,
how dare you slew? Right.
But now I use it quite often just to get myself out of situations like these.
So we don't encourage the slew up for obvious reasons. But during training, we do allow some of the newbies, like, hey, go ahead and get back with the flight rather than going to the world map and logging in that way. So
yeah, exactly. So I was gonna find myself a spot to park.
So I certainly appreciate you having us out here and giving us this exposure. That was very cool of you. And if you don't mind, I would just like to acknowledge the guys that were on the flight.
Oh, yes, please do.
Yeah, so you have Captain Cool, our wing commander, Skywolf, Commander Guns. He's our media guy. He also has his own YouTube channel. My pilot, Dead Tiger, he's a high-ranking wingman in Charlie Group. Glass, as you met, he's a Delta Group commander. And our training officer, Viking, who's Yayo Protocol. So shout out to those guys. Thank you for representing us really well. And thank you for having us, Blue.
Oh, yeah. I'm blown away. I really am. I'm watching your guys come in for landing now, formation. And, it's just, yeah. You guys are the real deal. Seriously, like you guys are the real deal. That's definitely not one of you.
No. There's let everyone know there's stragglers, and they're not one of us.
Yeah, there's a few people here who are not a part of the group. So you can. There's a very obvious difference. But I will say thank you to those of you who did join us in the flight. If you weren't a part of the 75th. It's definitely an enjoyable flight. Thank you again to 75th for the escort. Would love to thank every single one of you, like personally, for doing this flight today, for taking the time to come and escort us on our stream today and support my channel. Definitely, again, if you guys are interested in being a part of the 75th Fighter Winged Grim Reapers, which is who was flying with us today, there is a Discord link in my YouTube description right now if you guys want to go and get involved and start the process of being a part of their their squadron. And also there's a YouTube video as well down in the description. If you can check it out and you can learn more about what they do, and it shows off all the different planes that they fly. Very cool, very cool. You guys are definitely doing it right. It sounds like you guys really have a passion for this. You love it. Your community sounds great as well. And yeah, I mean, even if we're not, even if I don't join you guys at some point, even if I don't, it's getting crazy out here. Even if I don't, yeah, I mean, I would still love to just kind of stay in contact with you guys, see what you guys
no
are
problem.
doing. If you're doing like a, an air show, I know you didn't really mention it in the stream today, but if you guys are doing like a virtual air show or something like that, would love to come and just spectate it, yeah, we're definitely gonna stay in contact, for sure. I'm definitely, like I said, I would love to fly with you guys again. Maybe, I wouldn't say in a fighter, because I don't think I'm ready. I'm not to the level of what you guys are flying for me to be in a fighter. It's better for me to be in a transport vehicle or an airliner at the moment. But yeah, we'll see some ways to be creative and collaborate in the future. It seems like the viewers enjoyed it. Again, I'm hoping that they will get involved with you, with you guys in the future, and hopefully this can lead to some beautiful stuff, man. Thank you again for coming on voice and answering questions. And it definitely would have been a whole different vibe if it was just me flying around without your commentary.
Yeah, anytime. You're very welcome, and like I say, thank you for having us. And I do have one alibi. So your member, it sounds like he's subscribed to you or whatever. The guy from Africa, he's very good. I was very impressed with his flying, and actually glad he showed up.
Me
To be honest,
too. Me too. That's David Bukachi.
shout
Shout
out
out to
to
you,
him.
bro. Representing Africa in the house. Anyway, my friend, good to see you. Thank you for flying along with us. And yeah, you impressed these guys. So you got something. So Bukachi, if you're into this kind of thing, man, definitely hit them up. Like you said, they do have a PC like side of things as well, and support on that side. So I think they would definitely enjoy having you. And I'm sure he has some other jets that he probably could join in Xboxes and stuff too. So but yeah, anything else you want to say, or I guess shout out before we leave? I am not leaving just yet. We're gonna watch the replay of my landing. But anything else you want to say as far as for your guys? Anything else that they want to relay to the stream either?
Well, if you give me 1 second, I'll hit him up on the mic right quick. Just give me 1 second.
All right, sounds good. While you're doing that, I am gonna get the replay
Anything else?
loaded up, and we're gonna watch our replay back using flight control replay V5. Again, comes out tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Be on the sim market.
So Blue,
ahead.
they just my wing commander just wanted to stress that there is that trailer out there. I believe you have it in the description. I'm not sure, or link to it. But if you guys are interested in joining the 75th Fighter Wing, check out that trailer. If that's something that you desire, join the Discord. We'll have one of our trainers get with you, and then we'll start the process.
Amazing. I'm trying to find Mad Matt had a question. Can you resend that question real quick, because I can't find it? If you don't mind resending that question, we can ask it while we're queuing up the replay. Actually, gonna load it up right now and play. Yeah, I didn't even realize my freaking speed brakes were on half of that approach.
Trust me, that's a very common mistake.
That's on me. Thank you, Gunsmoking. Thank you, Gunsmoking. Appreciate that, man. Fabio, what up? Is there going to be a flight control replay for Xbox? I mean, hopefully one day, but I don't know that they'll have one. Once they make the changes to Xbox with the WASM and whatnot, you'll see a lot more things come to Xbox, like replay modes and third-party planes. So here's our flyby over Nelis Air Force Base right before I did my heavy overhead brake. I did it dirty, so I did actually put my gear down. I think that's when I put my speed brakes out and I forgot about them. Cleaned them up. And you can see replay is recording all that stuff. So we recorded me putting the gear down, putting the gear up, flaps up, all that. Made a hard left turn. Are we ever gonna get the C17 on Xbox or on the marketplace? Hopefully, man, hopefully. I mean, I've been rooting for you guys, for my Xbox people. I've been rooting for you guys for a long time. I enjoy the Sims so much, and there's so many great third-party add-ons that come out for it, and I know that you guys would love it as well. And honestly, the majority the majority of the simmers out there now are on Xbox, so we cannot forget about the like you guys are the majority now, which is crazy. Because just a couple years ago, you know, y'all didn't exist, so it's pretty cool to have them here. So here we come in for a speed racer out for our landing into Nelis. Again, flying over Speedway. They're on our right.
That was a very nice recovery, Blue. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it didn't look good for a while. It didn't look good for a second. Looked real sketchy for a bit, man. It really did. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Man, I love the way the gear come out on this thing. I didn't even know that they like rotate when they come out.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's very nasty. I like it.
All right, here it comes. Kind of squirrely. I got a little bit of a crosswind or something as we got near the ground, and then touchdown. And again, in reality, they do have thrust reversers. I could not find the key for it, so we went ahead and used about half the runway. But we could have got stopped like in what, a few thousand feet. I think it's I was reading. I think it can land. I think 3,000 feet. I believe is the minimum, something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can stop that big jet like that, but they do it for tactical purposes.
Yeah. Here we go from the gear view. Beautiful gear view. I mean, this is a free version. Like, can you imagine if somebody comes out with like a payware version? How much better it's gonna be? Like, man.
Oh, that's what I was thinking in the back of my head. I was like, if this is the freeware, I mean, I don't know who makes this freeware, but if they do the paid version, they're gonna make a lot of ducats.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Paid. It's a very nice aircraft, so I really hope they bring it to Xbox. And with the way that things are going, it seems that they might. So yeah, looking forward to that type of action.
All right, just one more view, guys, and then we're gonna wrap it up for today, and I'm gonna let these guys go. Thank you. I won't take up too much of y'all's time today, but it's been really fun, really fun. All right, on the right wing view this time around, approaching into Nelis. They don't really have a window here, so I just made a hole. But here we go. I think they could also, if they came out with some nice sounds, that would make it really nice too. And using FS Realistic for that head shake, there it is. It's something satisfying for me when you land at a military military airport with a military plane, like, because there's a lot of great payware scenery for international airports, stuff like that, but there's not very many for military air bases, you know. And so when you're flying a military aircraft and you want to fly to one of these nice sceneries, it's like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, this airport does have a military base on the side of it. That's nice. But it's even really cool when you land at the air base and it's actually static aircraft. Like when I land here, you got C-17s on the side, you got C-130s over there, the freaking Thunderbirds are out there hanging out. Like F16.
It's just so. Well, I was just gonna say it's just so exhilarating. Even when I did it in real life in the UH-60, when you come into Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, or you come into just a garrisoned airfield here in the States, it's hustle and bustle. I mean, there's jet aircraft, there's rotary wing. You see the people in military uniforms, and it's just like a nice environment, like an exhilarating, exciting environment. And I was just very grateful I was able to take part in something like that. So I completely understand what you're saying, and that's coming from a guy that did it in real life. So I could just imagine people on the sim coming into these military airfields.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I want to say one more time before we head out, man, thanks again for your service. Anybody else in chat who's served their country, and the rest of your squad out there as well, thank you for what you do. You are I'm not sure what percentage it is, but you are the small percentage that are out there who are willing to do it. And we're super grateful for it. So allow us to be here, sitting in my room, simulating it. So pretty cool. And thank you so much for that. And I was going to say one more thing. What was it going to be? Micah, thank you for watching, man. Good to see you. Fabio T. Claire Woods, thank you as well. Satish8299er, thank you very much. Ahmed, thank you. Mr. Fuzzy Studio, thank you so much. What's my yoke setup? In the description, I'm using Thrustmaster A10 Warthog joystick and throttle HOTAS with the TFRP rudder pedals. So if you want any information on that, all that is down in the description. It might be a 15% code you can use for the T-Flight full kit. I'm not sure if it still works, but it's still there. It's down there. Give it a try. Thank you again, Mad Matt UK, Daryl as well, David Bucacci, Mad One Racing, Fabio T, Emily, FVI Bim, thank you so much for chilling with us. Bone King, thank you so much. Willie Merritz, thank you. Lord Vapor Max, thank you so much. And to the rest, if I missed you, sorry. But until next time, remember you have 3 choices: give up, give in, or give it all. You got peace, love, and God bless you. I will see you guys next time, next video. We are all the way out. Sheesh. All right, you.